What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be looking at some attacks from the closed guard using the lapel. So before we actually enter onto the legs, we're going to be looking at some options we have in using the lapel to tie up our opponent and get some submissions. Cool. So, start in closed guard. First thing, same thing what we're going to do is I'm going to take out the lapel while we're here. Get it out. Now it really depends on what Kyra does with her hands. So if her Kyra's got her hands over like this and I manage to get the lapel under the arm, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it tight and do like a karate chop over her elbow and then pull it in tight. So I have her arm stuck now with the lapel on the outside of the arm. From here I'm going to reach over to get the material. It doesn't really matter where you grab so much. Like if I just chop the arm again and grab the material, it's fine. The next thing I'm going to do is step on the hip. As I step, I'm trying to turn my head around this corner whilst chopping down on her back to control her posture. And then from here, I'm just going to pass the leg over. And I have not let go of the lapel yet. From here, it's a simple armbar. Perfect. One more time. She's making her grips here, and I have the lapel out. So I have it. I'm just going to use it to chop down and pull. What it does is it pulls her elbow across the hip line. Okay? It makes it quite difficult as long as I'm keeping my elbows secure. It makes it quite hard for Kyra to pull her arm out. Pull your arm out, Kyra. From here, I'm going to reach across to grab the gi and step on the hip. Turn my hip, so I'm trying to look in her ear. At the same time, I'm using this leg to chop down. It's very important. Almost try to aim to get your heel to the far shoulder. So I'm chopping down, and I do another hip escape and come up for the armbar. Also chopping down, and this is where we get our first attack. We can also take it across, so sometimes I can pass it under this arm. So the gi's gone all the way across to the other side now. Same thing. So if I chop over the arm and pull it in tight, so the same thing's happening. It's just keeping the elbow in the center line. So remember when we're trying to attack the armbar, we're trying to get her elbow into the center. Okay, so the same thing's gonna happen. I reach across, I step on the hip. Step on the hip. Hip escape, chop down. I still have her arm secured with the lapel. From here, I just chop my leg over, same armbar attack, just right here. The beautiful thing about this, guys, is it's just on our way to our entry. So I may pull this out and get Kyra's arm here, and she pulls her arm out of the space. It's fine, because we just use the momentum to get to our original entry where we're passing it under the leg. A second thing we can do in the closed guard with the lapel is I could try to sit up, meet Kyra, and pass the gi to myself. So if we just turn to the back, sir, I can sit up and meet Kyra and pass the lapel to my other hand. Now as I fall back, the lapel becomes an anchor. So I sit up, I pass the lapel. Now the lapel becomes an anchor to her head. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to chop my elbow in front and pass the lapel to this hand. So if Kyra's posturing up here, I'm going to chop my arm down and pass the lapel underhand to this hand here. So the blade of my wrist is now on Kyra's neck. Kyra, just look up so the guys can see. Blade of my wrist is across Kyra's neck here. If I need to, I can feed it more and get it tighter. Like we can be here for a bit. And then the first attack I'm going to go from here is just grabbing over the top, reaching over, and coming in for the choke here. Of course, you can always try to go across the face, over, sometimes like even just do a big chop and get the material and get the same submission. But it's going to be a lot easier to get a lot tighter if I connect from here. So I'm grabbing the same material here. I'm going to loop over and into Kyra's neck here. And this is how we get the submission. The submission comes, it's already quite tight now, so I'm not going to do too much. But the submission will come from pulling my elbows back and meeting Kyra in the middle. So I'm trying to pull my elbows back and make a split. And that's what's going to help me get that submission. I may have been like ruffling up the mic. Something that could happen from this scenario, like I don't know if this is like, if it should happen, but it's something that happens to me quite a lot, is once I get into this position and I start passing off the lapel, a lot of people panic and start standing and stretching the arms, which I don't think you can expect this to happen all the time, but a lot of people do. They try to stretch away, so push, like pushing away. All of this here, when you use both hands as well, not on the mat, here, exactly, they start extending away. But I have such good anchoring connection to Kyra that this is no good for her. See, if she starts to stand or anything, pushing and standing, here, push, push, this, exactly. I'm so connected to Kyra that she can't really break the posture. She can't really get away. So I can hear from here start switching to arm bars. Stay up, Kyra. Yeah, sorry, it's like, you shouldn't really stand and stretch your arms like this, but a lot of people do. So when I get to this position, and I'm trying to work my attacks, maybe Kyra starts standing and stretching and pushing away here, exactly. Go, here. So I have this connection because I have the anchor, she's not going on away, she can't break away from the posture. So now you can start like switching up to anything, you can pass up to the ankle, chop down, go over the head, and the arm's still here. If she pulls the arm out, we're into the omoplata, okay? But this isn't really like the person reacting. I'm basically just saying, if you keep your grip, it's gonna open up opportunities when people are trying to get away. So I'm always saying when I'm playing with the lapels, don't give up on it just because it hasn't gone exactly the way you wanted. Like keep the lapel, it's normally there to do a job, which is either breaking the posture or hooking the leg or doing both at the same time. See, your gi's already starting to look a bit yellow. And you've only worn it twice.
Maybe I'm meant to be like advertising for Adapt, not slagging them off.
Sweaty wrists.
Literally, yeah, it's your sweaty wrists.
My sweaty wrists, tanning up your gi. I can't believe how much I'm sweating.
I can.
Right, so that was a few options from the lapel guard that we've been going over this week in the classes. Obviously, we're focusing more on each section and more details of each section for each one. But that was pretty much a quick overview of a few attacks you can do from the closed guard before we start entering into our sweeps. And obviously the sweeps, there's so many elements to that it would take more than just one video to try and get it out, especially since I'm rushing through. You got anything you want to say?
Without, you know, the spiel, what are the 3 most important things for lapel guard?
What are the most important things?
3 most important concepts, tips, or points.
All right. Tip number 1 for people playing lapels, try to control the end of the lapel. Reason being, if I grab Kyra's lapel, if I was to grab Kyra's lapel here and Kyra was to grab her lapel at the end, it's going to be very difficult for me to do any of my pass-offs and handovers.
Okay, point 2.
Point 2.
It's meant to be snappy, you know.
Today, it's not points, today so I said to somebody, we have a lapel class tonight, and his reply was, I don't do lapels, right? And my tip, so I don't have 3, but I just have 1 big tip, yeah? We're all doing jiu-jitsu, technically with a rope around our neck, yeah?
Yeah.
And if you say I don't do lapels, you're not using the biggest weapon that's there for you. You might as well do no-gi. So use the lapels, that's my biggest tip. 1 more just so that you can say I did 3. I don't have 3 tips.
I just meant like snappy, yeah.
Don't let go. Thank you, Ryan. Don't let go of the lapel.
Don't let go, Jack.
Don't let go. Don't let go until it's stopping you doing something you want to do. That's my advice about lapels. Be annoying, hold it until it's annoying you. Then let it go. Us. Thank you. Cool.
Are you going to have bits from the class?
Yeah, I'm going to film the class.